It was Christmas Eve, a night filled with wonder and magic. The stars twinkled brightly in the clear, cold sky, and the moon cast a gentle glow over the snowy village. Festive lights adorned every house, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. The Jolly Christmas Postman was ready for his deliveries. He had spent weeks preparing for this special night, making sure every letter and package was perfectly sorted and ready to go. His sack was overflowing with colorful letters and packages, each one filled with love and joy. The letters were written by children from all over the world, filled with their hopes and dreams for Christmas. With a cheerful heart, he hopped onto his magical sleigh, which was pulled by a team of strong and graceful reindeer. Each reindeer had a bell that jingled merrily, adding to the festive spirit of the night. With a jingle of bells, they soared into the snowy sky, leaving a trail of sparkling stardust behind them. The cold wind whipped past, but the Jolly Christmas Postman felt warm inside, knowing the joy he was about to bring. The first stop was a cozy cottage nestled deep in the woods. The cottage was beautifully decorated with twinkling lights and festive wreaths, making it look like a scene from a Christmas card. Smoke curled lazily from the chimney, indicating that a warm fire was burning inside. The Jolly Christmas Postman could almost feel the warmth and smell the scent of pine and cinnamon. The Jolly Christmas Postman smiled, his heart swelling with happiness. He knew just who lived in this charming cottage and what this delivery would mean to them. He thought about the family inside, imagining their excited faces when they discovered the surprise waiting for them. The children would be overjoyed and the parents would be touched by the thoughtful gesture. He carefully placed a large package by the door, making sure it was positioned just right. He wanted it to be the first thing they saw when they opened the door in the morning. The package was wrapped in shiny red paper and tied with a green bow, making it look extra special. It sparkled in the moonlight, promising the magic and joy of Christmas. The Jolly Christmas Postman chuckled softly to himself, imagining the delight and surprise on their faces. This was his favorite part of the job, bringing happiness and wonder to others. This delivery was going to be a big surprise. He could hardly wait to see the joy it would bring. With a final glance at the cozy cottage, he climbed back onto his sleigh, ready to continue his magical journey. The Jolly Christmas Postman knocked loudly on the door. He winked to himself, imagining the sleepy bears waking up. He didn't wait long before he heard 3 sets of feet shuffling towards the door. "Why, hello, Mr. Postman," exclaimed Papa Bear, his voice thick with sleep. "What brings you here on this fine Christmas Eve?" "I have a special delivery for you," the Jolly Christmas Postman said with a twinkle in his eye. He pointed his gloved finger at the enormous package by their feet. Next, the Jolly Christmas Postman flew to Grandma's house. Little Red Riding Hood was already there, helping her grandma decorate the Christmas tree. The Jolly Christmas Postman had a letter for Little Red Riding Hood. It was from her mother. Little Red Riding Hood was so excited. She loved getting mail. She carefully opened the envelope and pulled out a beautiful Christmas card. It had a picture of a snowman on the front. "Look, Grandma," she exclaimed. "It's a Christmas card from Mommy." Grandma smiled and gave Little Red Riding Hood a big hug. The Jolly Christmas Postman then flew to a very special place. It was a house made of gingerbread. The smell of freshly baked cookies filled the air. He had a small package for the witch who lived there. He carefully placed the package on the doorstep. He knew the witch was probably inside, stirring a bubbling cauldron. He hoped she liked chocolates. The Jolly Christmas Postman chuckled. Delivering mail to a gingerbread house was always an adventure. He climbed back into his sleigh and flew off to his next destination. Section 5. A Note for the Seven Dwarfs. The Jolly Christmas Postman had a busy day ahead of him. It was the most wonderful time of the year, and he was determined to spread joy and cheer to every corner of the fairy tale land. He had to deliver mail to all the fairy tale creatures in the land. From the grand castles to the humble cottages, everyone eagerly awaited his arrival. His next stop was the Seven Dwarfs' cozy cottage. Nestled deep in the snowy forest, the cottage looked warm and inviting, with smoke curling up from the chimney. The Seven Dwarfs were excited to see him. They had been waiting all morning, peeking out the window every few minutes to catch a glimpse of the postman. They knew he would bring them news from Snow White. Ever since she had left to live in the castle, they cherished every letter she sent. The Jolly Christmas Postman pulled out a small, folded piece of paper from his bag. It was adorned with a delicate snowflake seal, a sure sign it was from Snow White. "A letter from Snow White," shouted Dot, the smallest dwarf. His eyes sparkled with excitement as he held the precious letter. The dwarfs cheered and gathered around to hear what Snow White had written. They huddled close, their faces glowing with anticipation and joy. Snow White had written about her new life in the castle, the grand feasts, and the beautiful decorations. She missed the dwarfs dearly and couldn't wait to see them again. The dwarfs reminisced about the times they spent with Snow White, the laughter, the songs, and the adventures they had together. They decided to write a reply immediately, sharing their own stories and sending their love. They wanted Snow White to know how much they missed her and how eagerly they awaited her next visit. The Jolly Christmas Postman waved goodbye and continued on his way, his heart warmed by the joy he had brought to the Seven Dwarfs. He had many more letters to deliver, each one a small piece of magic that would brighten someone's day. And so, with a smile on his face, he set off to spread more Christmas cheer. Section 6. A Giggle with the Gingerbread Man. The Jolly Christmas Postman flew through the air, his sleigh pulled by his trusty reindeer. He spotted a small figure running through the forest below. It was the Gingerbread Man. "Hello there, Gingerbread Man," the Jolly Christmas Postman called out, his voice booming through the quiet woods. "Don't you want your Christmas card?" The Gingerbread Man stopped for a moment, his gingerbread legs pumping furiously. "Can't stop. Gotta run. Catch me if you can," he shouted back before sprinting off deeper into the woods. Section 7. Delivering Smiles to the Elves. The Jolly Christmas Postman continued his journey, his heart full of Christmas cheer. He had one more stop before he could head home. He landed his sleigh gently on the snowy roof of Santa's workshop. Hundreds of elves were busy working, wrapping presents and loading Santa's sleigh. "Ho, ho, ho," boomed a jolly voice. Santa Claus himself was there, checking his list twice. Santa thanked the Jolly Christmas Postman for bringing the elves their letters from home. "You're doing a wonderful job spreading Christmas cheer," Santa said, his eyes twinkling. Section 8. A Magical Christmas Eve. The Jolly Christmas Postman had delivered all his letters and packages. He looked up at the sky. The first star was beginning to twinkle. It was time for him to go home. He climbed back into his sleigh, the sleigh bells jingling merrily. He waved goodbye to Santa and the elves. Then, with a flick of the reins, he soared into the night sky. He flew over snow-covered forests and sleeping villages. He knew that children all over the world were tucked snugly in their beds, dreaming of Christmas morning. Section 9, Home Sweet Home. This is the heartwarming tale of the Jolly Christmas Postman, a beloved figure in the magical world of fairy tales. Finally, after a long and eventful day, the Jolly Christmas Postman arrived back home. The snow was gently falling, creating a serene and peaceful atmosphere. He landed his sleigh on the roof of his little cottage, which was nestled among the snow-covered trees. The sleigh bells jingled softly as he came to a stop. He was tired, but happy. His face glowed with the satisfaction of a job well done. He had spent the entire day delivering gifts and spreading joy. He had brought joy to all the fairy tale creatures with his deliveries. From the 3 little pigs to Little Red Riding Hood, everyone had received a special gift. He opened the door to his warm and cozy cottage. The smell of pine and cinnamon filled the air, welcoming him home. A fire crackled merrily in the fireplace, casting a warm glow throughout the room. The flickering flames danced, creating a comforting ambience. He hung up his hat and coat and poured himself a glass of warm milk. The milk steamed gently, adding to the cozy atmosphere. He knew that tomorrow would be another busy day, filled with more deliveries and more joy to spread, but for now he was content. He settled into his favorite chair, feeling the warmth of the fire and the comfort of his home. The Jolly Christmas Postman had spread Christmas cheer to everyone. His heart was full, knowing that he had made so many people happy. He had made Christmas Eve truly magical. The stars twinkled brightly in the night sky, and the world seemed to be at peace. As he drifted off to sleep, he dreamed of the smiles and laughter he had brought to the fairy tale world. The Jolly Christmas Postman knew that his work was important, and he was proud to be a part of the magic of Christmas.